Good morning, Suprabhat. Welcome to all of you in our class. I am C. Ankit Sharma, your income tax faculty for the session, and I believe that you must all be studying very hard to achieve the goal of your life to become a chartered accountant as soon as possible. So I do believe that you must have revised the provision what we have discussed in the last session. And today we will be covering our chapter number 1, that is basic concept. We will complete this chapter actually. And there are certain provisions, those are very interesting, which we are going to cover in today's class. That would be marginal relief, surcharge concept in detail, then agricultural income, theoretical provision, as well as numerical provision. So before that, let me see if there is any query, etc. from your part. Aman is saying good morning. Akhlija, good morning. Meenakshi, good morning. Mag, good morning. Vijwal, good morning. Sumit, good morning. Mag is saying, sir, I have doubts. Illustration number 9. Sir, in illustration number 9, we don't add health and education cess. Let me see. Illustration number 9. Raghav, age 26 here. I guess you're talking about this question. Raghav, age 26 here. And okay. So, Mac, we generally calculate education cess or health cess after the applicability of surcharge and rebate provision if there is any tax remaining. In illustration number 9, tax on total income was 45,000 and the rebate is 45,000. So after rebate, there is no tax left. So if there is no tax left, there would not be any cess applicable. We apply cess on tax. So if tax is 0, what would be the cess? Cess would also be 0. So there is no requirement to calculation of cess if there is no tax. Okay, that's why it's happened. Sridhar, good morning. Kambiraka, good morning. Okay, you got it, Mag, now. Okay, sure. So today, before starting the class, I would like to ask some provisions, and any of you, if interested, they can raise hand. So I will ask you to mute, and then you can explain the provision in short. On this topic, I want some feedback from you. One is rebate provision. In short, the rebate concept we have discussed under optional tax regime as well as under default tax regime. So if any one of you want to tell regarding this in short, that would be a topic I would like to listen from your part. The second would be any 3 cases of undisclosed income. Undisclosed income, any 3 cases. Okay. Then I will ask, so you can raise your own accordingly. First, I will ask this question. So those who want to explain regarding rebate, they can raise hand. After that, I will ask regarding this point. And then the third would be 3 cases in which previous year income is going to be assessed in the same year. In short, I just wanted the heading of those 3 points, not in detail at all. Then somebody will tell me the surcharge provision. The surcharge detail provision we will discuss today, but there is a limit that when surcharge would be applicable 10% and then 15, etc. And there was a difference between the surcharge provision under optional tax regime as well as default tax regime. So that difference also I would like to listen from your side. So now the first point is, who is going to explain in short the rebate concept in optional tax regime and default tax regime? So Vishakha has raised her hand. So can we unmute Vishakha?
Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Am I audible?
Vishakha, please little louder.
Okay. Am I audible, sir, now?
Yes, perfect.
Okay. So, sir, under debate under section 87A, in old case where 115 BSc is not applicable, if total income is less than 5 lakh, then rebate of rupees 12,500 and amount of tax whichever is lower is applicable. In default regime 115 BSc, if total income is less than 5 lakh, rebate of rupees 60,000 or amount of tax whichever is lower is applicable. in certain provisions, if total income is more than 12 lakh, we can say 12,70,580 rebate is applicable.
Good, very good. But you are actually saying one line in both cases that when total income is less than 5 lakh and less than 12 lakh. Let me correct you. It's up to 5 lakh or up to 12 lakh.
12 lakh, yes.
Okay, so in
Yeah.
that case, you can claim the rebate. Very good, well done. The next undisclosed income, three cases. So Mehak raised her hand. So Mehak, please proceed.
Good morning, sir. In undisclosed source of income, there is three cases: cash credits under Section 68, and unexplained investment under Section 69, unexplained money under Section 69A, and unexplained expenditure under Section 69 C, sir.
Correct.
And amount borrowed or repaid or hundi, Section 69D. And last one, sir, investment but not fully properly disclosed in section 69B.
Very good. Well done. Well done. Now, anyone else who would like to explain regarding those cases, those any three cases in which previous year income is going to be taxed or assessed in the same year? Visual. Very good. Yes, visual.
Yes, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, sure.
Sir, exceptions are first shipping when business of non-resident, and then next is person leaving India, and then we have a person likely to transfer property to avoid the tax, then discontinued business, and then AOP, POI, and AJP form for particular event or the purpose. They have the exception that their previous year income is assessed in the previous year itself.
Well done. Very good. Well done. Now, the last point I would like to listen from your side, and that was regarding surcharge rates. In certain cases, surcharge rates are different, and there was a difference also between the surcharge provision of default tax regime and optional tax regime. So, who would like
Yes,
to
sir.
explain in short? Visual, you will would like to
Yes,
explain?
sir, I can explain.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
sure.
Yes, sir. For
Go ahead.
surcharge in default and optional tax regime, for surcharge 50 lakhs to 1 crore, there is no surcharge in optional tax, and same with default
So,
tax.
up to 50 lakh, no surcharge.
Up to 50 lakhs, right? Up to 50 lakhs is no surcharge. Then 50 lakhs to 1 crore, there is 10%. Then 1 crore to 2 crore is 15%. Then 2 crore to 5 crore is 25%. Till this, both are same, both percentage. Then in next, greater than 5 crores, it's 37% in optional tax regime, and in default tax regime is 25%.
Well done. Well done. Very good. I5 to all of you. Very well done. So that was the quick recap of the provision what we have gone through in the last session, students. Today, of course, as usual, before starting the class, there is a thought for the day for all of you. And let me tell you, this is one of my favorite thought. What actually I have gone through with this thought when I was doing CA. And I was really, really impressed with this thing. And you can see the power of this thought. And it is not, these are not actually thoughts. These are the reality. If you will analyze these things deeply, that there is no future in any job. But the future lies in the man, woman, of course, the person who holds the job. So how you explore your knowledge, that matters. How do you explore your job, that matters. You can see a doctor who is earning 1 lakh rupees per month, having the same degree. And there is one more doctor who is earning 10 lakh rupees per month with the help of same degree. And there would be some other doctor who is earning 1 crore rupees per month from the same degree. So how it's happening? They all are having the same kind of degree, but they are exploring their potential differently. So whatever job you are holding, the job is not going to do anything with you, but it will matter that how you are going to explore yourself with the help of that knowledge, etc. So technically, I always believe in this. There is no future in any job, but the future lies in the person who holds that job. Okay, that was the thought for the day for today's class. Moving further now with the help of notes. So today, what we are going to discuss, the provision we are going to discuss is marginal relief. The first point we will discuss marginal relief, then surcharge provision in details, and then agricultural income provision. There are theoretical provision to make you understand what is agricultural income. So generally, we all know when a farmer produce any agricultural produce, that is technically an agricultural income. So that is an agricultural income, but definition is not that much only. The definition of agricultural income covers more than that. It includes agricultural produce, it includes other thing also. So what is the exact meaning of agricultural income? That we are going to discuss under the theoretical provision of agricultural income. Then we have numerical concept also under agricultural income. There are two numerical concepts under agricultural income. First is integration of agricultural income with non-agricultural income. And then composite business cases, in which if you are running a business which is having both kind of activities, agricultural as well as agricultural, we are going to discuss those kind of business activities under composite business. So that is a recap for today's provision. Now, the first topic will come first, and that would be marginal relief. I believe you have practiced with the illustration what I have asked you to do, and you have gone through with the provision also. Until you will revise the provision, you won't be able to understand the other provision also. Until you will practice the question what I have asked you to try, you won't be able to understand this chapter more clearly. In the last class, we have discussed some numerical provision, rates of tax, etc. And when we were going through with the provision of rate of taxes rebate, it might feel you complicated. But those students who have already tried the illustration as I have asked you might having more clarity, and they might feeling that those provision was not that difficult what it seems when we were going through the provision. So it is the power of practice and revision that you will feel things easy when you practice and revise them. Now, before starting marginal relief, if I'll ask you that in case of individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP, what is the maximum rate of tax which is applicable? The maximum rate of tax. We have gone through the slab rate. So what is the maximum rate of slab rate which can be applicable in case of individual HUF, AOP, BOI, etc.? Okay, so Miss Mahak is saying, sir, can you unmute me? I have one doubt. You still having some doubt, Mahak? I will ask you to unmute. If there is any, still you have any doubt, you can raise your hand. So I will unmute you. So Mag is saying, Mag wants to ask something. Let me see what she wants to ask.
Sir, am I audible, sir?
Yes.
Sir, in illustration 3, there is a limit of 4 lakh. So next, sir, up to from 4 lakh 1 to 8 lakh. This is I can't understand, sir. How? So if we write only 4.
Mr. X is having a total income. That is what you were asking, 25 lakh rupees.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me show you. So in this example, we are technically calculating tax as per default tax regime. Fine. So income has
Yes.
been given 25 lakh rupees.
Yes, sir.
So the process say first 25 lakh, out of this first 25 lakh, first 4 lakh tax is exempted. Clear?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now second 4 lakh. What is the tax rate?
5%, sir.
5%. So what would be the 5% of 4 lakh? 20,000.
20,000. Yes, sir.
Fine. So
Yes,
out
sir.
of this 25, 4 lakh we have sought, and this 4 lakh has been done. How much it is? 8 lakh. Now the next 4 lakh.
Okay, sir.
What is the tax rate? 10%. That would be 40,000.
Yes, sir.
Clear?
Sir, there is a limit from 4 lakh 1 to 8 lakh. So this is a mandatory, sir. In exam, we write from 4 lakh 1 to 8 lakh.
No, not required. You can follow this concept. First 4 lakh nil, next 4 lakh 5, Next,
Okay, sir.
4 lakh 10%. So this is like mathematical calculation. The answer would remain the same.
Okay, sir.
So you can show or present like this also, there is no problem. And when we will solve these more question, that would not, in examination also not required to show this detail. You can directly calculate the tax on working notes and directly show the total value of the tax, as in this case was 3,30,000.
Okay, sir. Understood, sir. Clear. Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Sure. So in case of individual HUF, etc., we have seen that the maximum rate of tax is 30%. And if suppose on that 30%, the maximum rate is 30%, students. Now, what would be the highest rate of surcharge? Highest. In any case, if I'll apply surcharge, what would be the highest rate of surcharge in case of individual, etc.? The surcharge would be maximum rate is 37%. Clear? And this 37% is on tax. So surcharge means tax on tax. We have seen that surcharge is not going to be applicable on income. Suppose income is rupees 100. Then this tax could be maximum 30 rupees. And surcharge would be on this rate on 30%, not on 100. That would be on 30%. So if I'll take 37% of 30%, that would be 11.1. As a percentage wise, it would be 11.10%. Clear? Now, on the aggregate of it, 41.10%. How we calculate tax? I have explained you tax, reduce rebate, if any, add surcharge. And on this aggregate, you will apply 4% cess. Yes, Minu, in case of default, it would be 25%. But I am asking for highest rate in any case of the surcharge could be 37%. Now, if we apply 4% cess, so 4% cess on this value we have to calculate. That would be 1.64. So technically, if we add it, so technically we will have maximum tax 42.74. In round off, we can say 43%. Clear? So is this statement of mine is correct that if you are earning 100 rupees of income, the maximum tax you will need to pay would be 43 rupees, not more than that. Highest rate of tax I applied, highest rate of surcharge I applied, and I applied 4% cess also. So the maximum amount we need to pay as a tax, including surcharge and cess, that would be 43%. The black money case is different. In that case, it was 78%. So we are not talking about the black money case. We are talking about the normal income case. So tax cannot exceed 43 rupees if the income is 100, or in percentage, we can say tax cannot exceed 43%. Clear? Now what marginal relief is saying? Now, marginal relief is saying a very different thing, and you will be shocked. The marginal relief says that if, listen very carefully, if your income is 100 rupees, if your income is 100 rupees and suppose your tax is 105 rupees on this income. So what marginal relief is saying, suppose your income is 100 and your tax exceeding 100. So that means the tax is exceeding the income. So if this happens that your income is 100 rupees and tax is more than your income, then we will provide you marginal relief. So marginal relief would be applicable only in one situation, when your income tax is exceeding your income. And how much marginal relief you will get? कहते this is very wrong. Income is 100. The name of act is income tax. That is tax upon your income. And what if your income is low and your tax is more than your income? In that case, whatever is the excess tax is 5 rupees. This 5 rupees would be your marginal relief. So marginal relief is a kind of a discount. So we will not charge 5 rupees extra from you. In that case, we will provide you a discount of 5 rupees and your tax would remain 100 rupees. So if your income is 100, your tax cannot exceed 100. And if it exceeds in any case, the excess will be provided you as a marginally. Technically, that is a kind of a discount you will get. Now, this is very interesting and very confusing also. That if the tax rate is maximum 43%, how my tax could exceed 100%? So we could think how it's practically possible. And of course, as I've told you that marginally would be applicable only in this situation. When your income is less and the tax on that income is more than that income, then only this will activate. And this will provide you a discount of excess tax from your tax liability. So to understand how this situation will arise, let me explain you with the help of an example, because as well as we will solve the example, you will understand the concept also, and of course a practical question. Now suppose there is a case in which we are solving this question under optional tax regime. Suppose the question say there is Mr. A, age 40 year, resident, and his total income has been given in question 51 lakh. Now let me tell you a very interesting thing. Marginal relief, if asked in question, let me tell you, marginal relief concept will be applicable only in those questions in which surcharge is applicable. So this situation, this dramatic situation in which income is less but tax is exceeding, will be applicable only in those cases in which surcharge is applicable. So if surcharge is not applicable, this won't happen in practically. And when surcharge is applicable, when total income exceeding 50 lakh rupees. So all the questions, if in the exam, and if there is marginal relief is being asked, in those questions, your total income must be given more than 50 lakh rupees at least. Because if it is less than 50 lakh, you can write it down, no MR applicable. You need not to even calculate it. And you will understand why. When we will solve this question, you will understand why I am saying this to you. So now the question says that suppose your total income has been given in the question 51 lakh and the question asked you to calculate marginal relief and tax under optional tax regime. Now to solve this question, the format is fixed. The good thing is a fixed format. You just need to follow that format and you will get the answer. And as soon as we will solve this question, you will automatically understand the provision also. Quality analyst asking what the reason for keeping MR and surcharge linked. As I have told you, when we will solve this question, at the end of the solution, you will automatically understand the concept, that means the provision, and a numerical also. So that's why we will explain it with the help of example. So there's a fixed question. The question would be always like this. In case of MR, there would be a certain income, and as I've told you in the examination, it would be more than the limit on which surcharge is applicable. And they will ask you to calculate the MR and tax. Now, the solution part. The solution part is fixed. Step number 1. Step number 1, you have to take that income which has been given in question. So in the question, the income has been given 51 lakh rupees. So you have to calculate the tax on this income. So step number 1 says whatever income has been given in the question, calculate tax on it. So the tax on this 51 lakh as per optional tax regime slab rate, that up to 2.5 lakh rupees exempted, then next 2.5 lakh rupees 5%, then 20%, then 30%. So if you will calculate that tax, the tax would come 1342500. I have already calculated it to save our time. Now the question, will rebate be applicable in this case? Of course not. Rebate would be applicable up to 5 lakh rupees. So there would not be any rebate. Would surcharge be applicable? The answer is yes. How much surcharge? 10% surcharge would be applicable in this situation. That would be 134,250. So the total tax, including surcharge, we will not apply cess. Cess would be applicable always after all the calculation. So we are still till the calculation step 1, step 2. After the final calculation, we always calculate cess. So cess need not to be calculated. So my tax, including surcharge, would be in this case 1,47,6750. 14,76,750 rupees. Clear? So what we did not do anything new. We just need to follow step number 1. Step number 1 says that you have to calculate the tax on the income which has been given in the question. Now step number 2. Step number 2 says, now you have to write it down, that income over here up to which there is no surcharge applicable. So because the income is 51 lakh rupees, so up to which income there is no surcharge in this situation? Up to 50 lakh rupees, there is no surcharge. So this is fixed. You have to take 50 lakh rupees in step number 2. That amount up to which there would be no surcharge applicable. So if we calculate tax on 50 lakh rupees income as per the slab rate, the tax would be 13,12,500 rupees. And what would be the surcharge? Of course, not applicable. So that is going to be my tax liability if my income would have been 50 lakh rupees. I hope it's clear. Now last step is step number 3. And this is not exactly a step, just you need to find out the difference. The difference between step number 1 and step number 2, you have to write it down. So if you see the step number 1 and step number 2, the income difference was only 1 lakh rupees. So if my income would have been 50 lakh, the tax would be 13,12,500. And because my income is 51 lakh rupees, the tax is 14,76,750. So technically what is happening? My income has been increased by 1 lakh rupees only. The difference of step 1 and step 2. What is step 3? Step 1 minus step 2. So you can see the difference of income is 1 lakh, but due to this 1 lakh rupees difference, the difference of tax becomes 1,64,250 rupees. Can you see that? When my income increased only via 1 lakh rupees, my tax increased by 1,64,250. Now apply this condition upon yourself. That suppose you are earning 50 lakh rupees in previous year. So if you have earned 50 lakh rupees, you need to pay tax of 13,12,500. And now suppose you earn 51 lakh instead of 50 lakh. So you just earn 1 lakh rupees extra. But due to that, you need to pay 1,64,250 rupees extra. So that is injustice. Assessee says, my income increased by 1 lakh rupees only, and my tax increased by 1,64,250. Did you understand, student, why it happened? Why and how it's happening that your income exceeding by 1 lakh, but why your taxes increased more than 1 lakh? This is due to the effect of surcharge. Because as soon as your income exceeding 1 lakh rupees, The surcharge is applicable on full value of your tax. The surcharge is not on X is 1 lakh. The surcharge on the full tax of 51 lakh rupees. So that's why I was saying when there would be surcharge, only in that situation, this condition would apply. Now, Sasi will object it. This is wrong. This is injustice. You are asking me more tax than my income. So government say, okay, do not worry. We are here to help you. We will provide you marginally. And marginally will be provided always when this should be higher and this should be lower. And the difference of this 1 lakh and 164, the marginally would be 64,250 rupees. It's a kind of a discount. The difference of these two would automatically become your marginally. What will happen with this marginally? This will be provided as a discount from your tax. What is your tax? Your tax is this because income was 51 lakh rupees. So what was my tax? My tax was 1476750. Now I will claim marginally. So technically marginally will work like a rebate. The name is marginally, but it will reduce your tax liability as a discount. So that would be 64250. So the remaining would be 141250, and now cess will applicable on this value. 4% cess. 56500, and final tax liability would be 1469000. Understood? So this is how we need to calculate the marginally. And let me tell you, student, there is no new concept. You just need to calculate your tax on whatever income which is given in the question. Step 2, you need to calculate tax on that income up to which there is no surcharge. Then you find out step number 3, the difference. So if the tax is higher than income, the difference would be your marginally that you can claim as a discount from your final tax liability. Clear? Now, one more concept in this marginally I would like to discuss. Suppose in the above question, and let me tell you, it will not happen always. As we discussed the rebate concept under default tax regime, up to 12 lakh you can claim rebate, and there was a limit exceeding 12 lakh also. 12 lakh 70,580 as we have discussed. Till that point rebate work. In the same case, this marginally will not work always. It will work when their income is slightly above 50 lakh rupees or slightly above the rate on where surcharge change. So if the income is 55 lakh, suppose in this question, if I'll change the income 55 lakh instead of 51 lakh, then when you will calculate MR as per step 1, step 2, step 3, you will see this would be higher and this would be lower. In that case, there would no marginality. Whatever would be your tax, that would be your final tax liability. So it will not work always. So if income is 55 or 60 lakh, you will calculate and you will see this part would be higher and this would be lower. So if this part is higher, there would no marginally at all in any case. One more case for marginally that I would like to discuss with you. Suppose in the above case, the total income is 1 crore 1 lakh rupees. Now the total income is 1 crore 1 lakh rupees. So when your income is slightly above from that limit up to which no surcharge, or when surcharge change, surcharge limit is 10% up to 1 crore, and more than that it would be 15%. So because now you'll see the income is slightly exceeding 1 crore. So in this case also there would be marginally. The same step we need to follow. There is just a one difference. That's why we are discussing. We have to write it down the income 1 crore 1 lakh rupees. We need to calculate the tax on it. Whatever would be your tax. on that tax, the surcharge would be 15%, because if it exceed 1 crore, the surcharge rate of 15% would be applicable. Clear? Now step number 2. Now we will take that amount of income over here on which surcharge rate was changed. Like if income is 51 lakh rupees, then we have taken 50 lakh rupees in step number 2, the amount on which there was no surcharge. But suppose if surcharge rate has been changed, like now the income has been given on which surcharge rate is 15%, then we have to take that income in step number 2 up to which the previous surcharge rate was applicable. So in this example, what would be the previous surcharge rate? 10%. And on which amount the 10% is applicable? Up to 1 crore. So now we will not take 50 lakh rupees income over here. So we will take the step number 2 income, which is preceding the income which has been given in the question. So if it has been given 90 lakh in step number 1, we will still take 50 lakh. But because it exceeding 1 crore rupees, so we have to take that income up to which there was a different surcharge rate was applicable. So in this case now tax we will calculate on 1 crore and surcharge rate 10% need to be applicable. Then we will find out the difference as usual. This is 1 lakh. And if this is higher than 1 lakh, the difference would be your marginal bill. Clear? Vijay is saying I have written 10 lakh, one more zero. Where? Yes, okay, done. Thank you so much. Chalo. So now the provisions are here. Solved question also I have given in the notes, and also in your study material, we will discuss solved question also. So now this is concept of marginal relief. In certain cases, due to surcharge effect, axis of tax can exceed the axis of income. But as a general rule, quality analyst saying, sir, we have to take surcharge slab while computing marginal relief. Yes, exactly. Absolutely correct. But as a general rule, tax cannot exceed income. But in some cases, this general rule overruled. That to nullify that axis of tax over income, marginal relief is applicable. So for the purpose of removing that axis of tax over income, marginal relief is applicable. It's a kind of a discount. Marginal relief will applicable in case of if marginal relief means if tax exceed income, then such axis will be allowed as discount out of tax so calculated. MR will apply only when those cases in which surcharge applicable. So in case of individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP, it will apply when your income exceeding 50 lakh rupees. But in case of partnership firm, domestic company, local authority, because in those cases, surcharge apply when income exceeding 1 crore. So in those cases, MR would be applied only if surcharge is applicable, and it would be applicable if your income is exceeding 1 crore. Now I have prepared a format for you to understand those provisions. How you need to calculate the MR. Step number 1. Calculate tax on total income of such person as given in the question without cess. So whatever income has been given, you can write it down. You need to calculate the tax on it with surcharge. Fine. Step number 2. Calculate tax on total income of such person for such limit surcharge not applicable. So if income does not exceed 1 crore, then we have to take 50 lakh always in step number 2. Or lower surcharge rate on such person. Or if income has been exceeded 1 crore, 2 crore, 5 crore, then we have to take step number 2, that income which was applicable till the previous rate of surcharge is applicable. Suppose the income has been given 5 crore 1 lakh. In that case, we will write it down 5 crore 1 lakh over here. The surcharge rate would be 37%. under optional tax regime. So now can you tell me what amount of income I should write it over here in case of marginally? If the step number 1 income is 5 crore 1 lakh rupees, then under optional tax regime, what amount of income I should write in step number 2? Yes, exactly correct. Very well done. That would be 5 crore. And the surcharge would be 25%. As I have told you, students, surcharge would not be applicable. This marginally would not be applicable in all cases. If the income is suppose 5 crore 10 lakh rupees, and then you will apply these provision, you will see income would be higher and tax would be lower. Now, step number 3, difference of step number 1 and step number 2. Now, point number A say if difference of tax is more than the difference of income, then only marginally will apply. That means if the difference of tax is more than difference of income. So if this is higher, of course, MR will applicable. And if it is not so, difference of tax minus difference of total income. What would be your final tax liability? Whatever your tax is as per step number 1, please reduce MR from it. The amount what you will get plus cess, that would be your final tax liability. If difference of total tax is less than total income, if tax difference is less and income difference is high or equal, in that case, there would not be any marginally. Whatever tax you have calculated as per step number 1, that would be your answer. Now you can see with one more solved question. Calculate tax of Mr. Sudeep if his total income is 51,50,000. If the age is 42 years under optional tax regime. So what we will do, we will calculate step number 1, 51,50,000 income, the tax upon it, the surcharge upon it, the total tax 14,93,250. Now we will take 50 lakh over here and the tax is 13,12,500. Now you can see a difference. The income exceeded by 1,50,000 rupees. But the tax has been increased by 1,80,750. So this difference of 30,750 would be marginally. It will reduce from step number 1 tax liability and then cess apply, and that would be your final tax liability. I believe it might feel you like difficult or complicated, but let me tell you that we did not discuss any new provision in marginally. We just discuss a new process. That's step number 1. You have to calculate tax as per normal provision. Then step number 2, you have to take that income up to which either no surcharge or the surcharge rate was different as per step number 1 income. Then the difference you need to find out between that income and tax. If tax difference is higher, marginal relief concept would be applicable. If tax difference is not higher, no marginal relief. I believe this language of this marginal relief concept is slightly difficult. So मैं थोड़ा आपको इसको हिंदी में समझा देता हूँ. So it would be helpful for those friend who wants to listen it in Hindi. Marginally तब applicable होगा जब आपकी टैक्स का डिफरेंस आपकी इनकम से ज्यादा हो जाए. एंड ये जनरली तभी एप्लीकेबल होता है जब सरचार्ज आपके केस में एप्लीकेबल हो रहा हो. अगर इनकम 50 लाख से नीचे है तो कभी मार्जिनल रिलीफ एप्लीकेबल नहीं होगा. स्टेप नंबर 1 में आपको हमेशा वो इनकम लेनी है जो क्वेश्चन में गिवन. एंड स्टेप नंबर 2 में आपको या तो 50 लाख लेना है. अगर स्टेप 1 की इनकम 1 करोड़ तक है तो आपको 50 लाख लेना है. अगर स्टेप नंबर 1 की इनकम 1 करोड़ को क्रॉस करती है तो स्टेप नंबर 2 में आपको वो इनकम लेनी है जिस पर पुरानी सरचार्ज की रेट एप्लीकेबल. जैसे सपोज अगर स्टेप नंबर 1 में 2 करोड़ 2 लाख रुपीस है 2 करोड़ 2 लाख रुपीज स्टेप नंबर 1 में है, तो स्टेप 2 में हम कितनी इनकम लेंगे? 2 करोड़। अगर स्टेप नंबर 1 में 1 करोड़ 1 लाख है, तो स्टेप नंबर 2 में लेंगे 1 करोड़, एंड सो। ओके, सो मैथिली wants to ask something. Yes, मैथिली,
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir.
good morning.
Sir, as you said, when the marginal relief is applicable, only when the tax liability is excess of the total income. So, my doubt is the marginal relief is any limit is there, sir, for that any limit for marginal relief, sir?
Any limit? Yeah, there would be limit, but I cannot explain you that limit as we have discussed for rebate, because there would be multiple cases. There would be a limit when it's exceeding 50 lakh till 1 crore. So there would be a limit of 53 lakh some amount. Then in case of 1 crore till 2 crore, there could be a limit. And then for 2 crore and 5 crore, there could be a limit. So that is not possible that I would tell you that up to this limit, you need to calculate it. So if in the question your income is slightly above than the limit for surcharge limits cases, then you need to apply yourself. You need to follow step 1, 2, and then you need to check in step number 3 whether marginal leave is applicable or not. So there could not be any fixed limit which I can ask you to learn.
Yes, sir. But in final step, the marginal relief is applicable. So, in that case only, I am asking. The final step is marginal relief is applicable. Then the marginal relief is any limit is there, or that like
No,
example.
there is no limit like rebate. There is like 60,000, 12,500. There is no limit applicable. Whatever
Okay.
would be the difference, you can claim it as a marginally. There is no limit applicable in case of margin.
Yes, if this difference it is more than 1 lakh also, this is also applicable,
Yes,
sir,
yes,
for me.
any amount does not matter. Whatever amount it is, you can take the discount of that amount from your tax liability. No problem.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Okay, Gerald is asking, marginal leave is applicable only if total income exceed 50 lakh by 1 lakh only, or there is threshold say up to, you need to check it, Gerard. Actually, we cannot discuss the fixed limit for the purpose of marginal leave. But let me tell you, after 4 or 5 lakh, it won't be applicable. But there is no specific limit. If the question asks you for marginal leave, you have to calculate as per step 1, 2, and 3. Then you will finally come to know. Galti is saying limit cannot be finalized, that is keeps on fluctuating based on the scenario. Yes, exactly. That's why I did not told you any limit, because that would be really difficult to, depending upon the situation. Because there would be different kind of income will introduce, like capital gain income, etc. So that concept would be really difficult for you. Visual is saying, sir, in the case of that 1 crore 1 lakh after MR, tax is coming 3407300. You need to calculate it properly. Okay. Simple logic, na sir. If my income exceed to pay tax liability, I am not pay tax extra tax what we earn. Yes, logic is simple, but in the examination you have to show the calculation. So calculation is important. Logic is very simple. If my tax is higher than income, the higher will available for as a marginally. But you need to calculate that marginally. That is little complicated. Okay. Sushmita, sir, will this file also be shared with us? As of now, only one file is available, theory file. No. One PDF might be there on the portal. In that PDF, these file, everything has been inserted. You can go through and check all these question, etc. has been included in that downloading file. Fine. The MCQ I will take, that I will upload. So the MCQ with the solution you can find out from the portal. Now there are special rate of taxes. So as I have told you that whatever we have gone through, those who are normal case of taxes, normal rates of taxes, slab rate. But there are some special income on which special rate of tax is going to be applied. But the good news, these special rate need to be understood, or these special rates going to be discussed in the various topics which would be included in the coming 4 chapters. So this is just a trailer to show you that what kind of incomes you are going to interact in different chapter, and you can see the separate rate of taxes. As you can see, this is long-term capital gain. The rate is 20%, 12.5, 12.5, 12.5. So these are just to show you. But the detail of these rates, we will go into discuss in the respective chapter. Section 112, 112A. These are special rates of tax. Section 111A, Section 115BB, etc. So you can see the note also say for detailed discussion of taxability, you will come to know regarding these rate of tax in future chapters. Now the surcharge provision, and surcharge provisions till we are discussing in a very simple way that it's no surcharge up to 50 lakh, then up to 50 to 1 crore, it's 10, then 15%, 25% and 37%. But when in a question, the special rate of income, as we have seen over here, if these income also part of your income, if these income also become part of your normal income, then surcharge rate will also change. And you can see these provision from this page, they are explaining you the rate of surcharge in different scenarios. So the surcharge provision, what we were thinking very simple, it's now being complicated. They all are surcharge provision if a special rate has been included. You can see almost 5 pages provisions are for surcharge till now. So if there is special rate of income does not there, then the surcharge provisions are simple. We have already gone through it. But if the surcharge provisions we need to calculate, and if in the question special rates has been given, special rate of income has been given, then surcharge provision would be very complicated. As you can see with the help of these notes, now surcharge provision you have to remember like this, but do not worry. I have prepared a diagram to help you to understand you the surcharge provision in one go. And let me tell you, you do not need to go through with those notes as just we have seen those 4 or 5 pages. You just need to understand this one page and all the provision of surcharge will be sorted at one place at once. So with example also, we are going to discuss the surcharge provision. Examples are over here. We will discuss. But before that, let me make you understand the surcharge concept in detail. So this is surcharge provision. So whether you are having a special rate of income or you are not having a special rate of income, everything has been covered in this chart. I prepared the chart for all of you. And you can see new surcharge provision for individual HUF, AOP, BOI, etc. for those opting out of the default tax regime. So this is for optional tax regime. First case is very simple. We have already gone through with it. It says if you do not have any income on which a special rate of tax has been applicable. So if you do not have that income of, we have seen capital gain, etc. In that case, case number 1 says these kind of surcharge provision we have already discussed in the session. These are normal cases. And you can see if total income does not consist a special rate of income, long-term capital gain 112A, 112, short-term capital gain 111A, and dividend income. So if these income is not part of your income, you have income other than these income, business income, house property income, salary income, then surcharge provision, as we already know, more than 50 lakh up to 1 crore, 10%. More than 1 crore up to 2 crore, 15%. More than 2 crore up to 5 crore, 25%. More than 5 crore, it would be 37% in case of optional tax regime. And we know that in case of default tax regime, this 37% is not applicable. So this case 1 provision of surcharge we have already understood. Now this case 2 is here. So for this case 2, there were 5 pages to make you understand. And now in this single diagram, you will understand all the cases of surcharge. Now case 2 says, if total income consisting, of course, if total income including, consisting, those special rate of income, any of it or all of it, long-term capital gain 112A, Then 112 short-term capital gain 111A or dividend. So if you are having any of these income, even one or all, case 2 would be applicable for the purpose of surcharge applicability. How surcharge would be applicable in this case? There are three situations: A, B, C. If you will be able to identify which situation is applicable, whether my question is part of A situation, part B situation, or part C situation, you would be automatically able to find out the correct surcharge concept. Now understand what is condition number A, what is situation number 1A. It says if total income including 112A, 111A, 112 or dividend. Let me tell you, in all cases, either any one or all, does not matter. If your total income after including these income, any of it, up to 2 crore rupees. Suppose your house property income is 1 crore. Your business income is 70 lakh. Total income is 1 crore 70 lakh. So can you tell me in which case this case will fall? This example what I have written, suppose your house property income 1 crore, your business income is 70 lakh. Your total is 1 crore 70 lakh rupees. So in which situation this case will fall? This is up to 2 crore. So if your income is up to 2 crore, let me see the answer. Gottlty is saying A, Vishakha is saying A. No. That's what I was expecting from all of you. This is not a case of A. This would be my this. In this example, where is short-term capital gain, long-term capital gain, 112A, 118A dividend? Did I write any those income? No. Then why you are saying it's case A? Case A would be applicable if section 112A, 111A, 112 or dividend. That income should be in the question. So in this example, I intentionally write it down 1.70 crore. So you will give me the answer of A and that would be a wrong answer. So it will not fall in this category. It is case number 1. And yes, if that is a case of this, it will fall up to 15% of surcharge in this category. Yes. Now, suppose I include long-term capital gain 20 lakh rupees. Now it happened 1 crore 90 lakh after including special rate of income. So until there is any special rate of income, the first case, normal case would be applicable. Now, because in this example, I have written down house property income, business income, long-term income, 20 lakh rupees. A special rate of income comes into the picture. And income is up to 1.90 crore. So this is the case of now this situation. So even after including this 112A, 111A, 112 or dividend, if your income is still up to 2 crore, then surcharge would be applicable like this. If it is exceeding 50 lakh up to 1 crore, this total. If this total is up to more than 50 lakh or up to 1 crore, the 10%. And if it is exceeding 1 crore, up to 2 crore, then 15% on tax. So whatever tax would be there, the tax on 20 lakh and the tax on 1.70 crore, the total tax, whatever would be the tax, the surcharge rate would be 15%. This is not tax rate. These are surcharge rate on tax. So tax will be calculated accordingly. On this 1.70 crore, tax would be as per slab rate. On this long-term capital gain, the special rate of tax, either it would be 12.5%, etc. applicable. So whatever be the tax of these two income, we are discussing what will be the surcharge rate. So 15% would be the surcharge rate on the tax of 1.90 crore income. Understood? What is situation number A? Situation A says it's very simple technically. If you understand, it's very simple. There is nothing complicated. Or you can say the diagram is like this, you will feel it very easy. What is situation A? If you have income, special rate of income, and after including that special rate of income, your total income is up to 2 crore rupees. In that case, surcharge would be either 10% or 15% on tax. Now B case. The reverse of A. If total income including 112A, 111A, 112 dividend is now more than 2 crore or 5 crore. So A situation is up to 2 crore. After including these income, if your income is up to 2 crore, then situation A. If after including this income, your income exceeding 2 crore, then situation B. As simple as that. कुछ complicated है ही नहीं. Very sorted. Suppose, example, my house property income is suppose 1.5 crore and my long-term capital gain is 1 crore. Total is 2.5 crore. Now which situation applicable? ठीक से बताना, गलत मत करना बच्चों. Now situation number B is applicable. Very good, correct. Now B is applicable because my income exceeding 2 crore, including that income. So now total income is 2.5 crore. It will not fall in situation A, it will fall in situation number B. And situation B answer is so simple. In that case, surcharge rate would be always 15% on the tax. Whatever tax, the surcharge rate will remain the same. No problem. So understood what is case situation A, what is situation B? Situation A was if income including that special rate of income up to 2 crore, if income exceeding 2 crore after including those section 1128, 111A, etc., situation B applicable. Now last is situation number C. C says if your total income without including or considering these special rate of income. B says your income exceeding 2 crore after including this special income. Now it says your income exceeding 2 crore after even excluding these income. After excluding. So these income are there in the question. But even without including that income, your income exceeding 2 crore. Suppose your house property is 3 crore. Your short-term capital gain is 1 crore. Your total income is 4 crore. Now, this case cannot fall in situation A because in that case, it should be up to 2 crore. This case would not include in situation number B because it says your income should exceed 2 crore after including these special rate of income. But your income exceeding 2 crore even without including these special rate of income. So that is case number C. So those case does not fall A and B, that will fall in case number C. And it would be when your income, other income, except these special rate of income, these are exceeding 2 crore rupees. So that would be the part of C case. So these special rate of income are in question. But your other income already exceeding 2 crore rupees without even including these income. In this case, surcharge provision will change. Now, surcharge provision would be different. The surcharge provision on those special category of income, whatever would be the tax on this short-term capital gain income, the surcharge would be 15%. So on that special category of income rate of tax, surcharge would be 15%. And on other income, on this house property income tax, the surcharge rate would be different. If it is more than 2 crore up to 5 crore, if this income, this house property income is exceeding 2 crore up to 5 crore, then 25% of tax need to be calculated. And if it is exceeding 5 crore, in that situation, 37% of tax on this total income. So you will see this total income. So if it is exceeding 2 crore up to 5 crore, surcharge rate would be 25% of tax on house property income. And if your total income exceeding 5 crore, then surcharge would be 37% on the tax of house property. Suppose your house property income is 1.5 crore, your business income is 2 crore. So total is 3.5 crore. Which situation or case need to apply? For the purpose of surcharge, which situation or case need to apply? Quality analyst saying we have to test check B and C case simultaneously. They are mutually exclusive cases. We cannot check it simultaneously. Either B would be applicable, or C would be applicable, or A would be applicable. So you need not to check simultaneously. Even if A is applicable, you need not to check B or C is applicable or not, because these are mutually exclusive case. Sumit is saying, sir, C को हिंदी में explain कर देंगे? Yes, why not? अभी करते हैं. Sridhar, okay. So the case what we were discuss situations, student, in this example, this case is applicable. Case 1. Again, where is the special rate of income in this example I have written? I did not write a special rate of income. There is only house property and business. So exceeding 2 crore, 5 crore will fall in this category when you should have those special rate of income. If there is no special rate of income, the case will always fall in one category. Understood? C category पूछ रहे थे सुमित के हिंदी में बता देता हूं. C कैटेगरी ये कहता है कि अगर आपके पास अदर इनकम भी है और स्पेशल रेट ऑफ इनकम भी है, होनी दोनों चाहिए. अगर स्पेशल रेट ऑफ इनकम नहीं है क्वेश्चन में, प्लीज लिसन एवरीवन वेरी केयरफुली. अगर स्पेशल रेट ऑफ इनकम डज नॉट एग्जिस्ट, you need to apply case 1. There is no A, B, C category need to apply. Case 1 would be applicable. Okay? तो अगर आपकी स्पेशल रेट है तभी केस 2 लगेगा. स्पेशल रेट है और उसको ऐड करके भी इनकम अप टू 2 करोड़ है तो ए लगेगा. स्पेशल रेट है और उसको ऐड करके ही इनकम 2 करोड़ से ऊपर जा रही है तो बी लगेगा. स्पेशल रेट ऑफ इनकम है बट इवन विदाउट दैट योर इनकम एक्सीडिंग 2 करोड़, विदाउट इंक्लूडिंग दैट स्पेशल रेट ऑफ इनकम योर इनकम एक्सीडिंग 2 करोड़, 2 करोड़ से ज्यादा है, तो फिर केस सी लगेगा. और जब केस सी लगेगा तब जो स्पेशल रेट की इनकम का टैक्स है उस पर सरचार्ज 15% से लगेगा. जो अदर इनकम का टैक्स बनेगा, अगर टोटल इनकम 5 करोड़ तक है तो उस पर 25% सरचार्ज लगेगा, और अगर टोटल इनकम 5 करोड़ से ज्यादा है तो उस पर 37% से सरचार्ज लगेगा. अंडरस्टूड? You will get it when we will solve these questions. Now very carefully, one by one, we will solve these 7 questions. Okay? Think about it. If you will be able to find out the correct case, you will be able to find out the correct solution. So need to understand the correct case. So you will be able to find out the correct solution, what it should be. So case number 1, read it very carefully. This is question number 1. Lanka, Amruta, please have patience. Let we solve these 7 examples. Then might be your query automatically solved. Just have patience for 5 minutes. Okay? So particular example number 1. Suppose in the question, income has been given 70 lakh rupees. Other income, a special category of income has been given nil. Total income 70 lakh. So can you tell me which case is applicable in this situation? In point number 1. Either it would be case 1, or if it is case number 2, then A, B or C. Let me see the answer now. Correct. When there is no special rate of income, everyone has given the correct answer. Gaurav, Sridhar, Galti, Meenu, everybody has given the correct answer. Very good. So let me tell you, these surcharge provisions are very complicated. But if you'll go through with the help of this chart and after solving these 7 cases, everything would be crystal clear. After that, I believe all the query regarding the surcharge would be automatically solved. So because there is no special rate of income, so automatically the case would be applicable one case. And if it is one for case number one, how much surcharge would be applicable? What would be the surcharge rate in this example one? 10%. Of course, very good. Well done. Because it's between 50 to 1 crore rupees. Very well done. Now case number two. Focus on case number two. Other income is 80 lakh. Special rate of income is 1.90 crore. Total is 2.70 crore. Can you tell me now which case is applicable or which situation is applicable? Vishaka already answered. Case 2 category B. Case 2 category. Gabbar is saying case 2 category B. Sumit also gave the correct answer. Very good. Now, only after including this income, my income exceeding 2 crore. So after including special rate of income, if your income exceeding, then it would be B case. Now, can you tell me what amount of surcharge need to be applied in this case? The B case rate is very simple, 15%. Understood? Now, third case, 90 lakh is other income, 80 lakh is special rate of income. Total income is 1.7 crore. Even up before closing the question, the answer is there. Very good students. Vishaka, Sridhar, Lakshmi, Gabbar, Kashish, Akhila. Very good. It would be A case. And if it is a A case, how much rate need to be applicable? Then Lakshmi, not 10, it would be 15% because my total income is between 1 crore and 2 crore. Okay, now fourth pe aate hain. Now you can see 1.30 crore and 2 crore. So now total income is 3.30 crore. So which case is applicable in example number 4? B case of category 2 and the B case rate is 15%. Now fifth is very interesting and important. Read it very carefully now. 4 crore is other income. 1 crore is special rate of income. Now we have 5 crore total income. Now this is Vishaka say category C 2 case. Absolutely. This is my C situation. Now you can see income exceeding 2 crore without the help of this income. So if your income exceeding 2 crore without the help of this income, C category. Now it's 5 crore total. So what would be the surcharge rate? So surcharge rate would be 15% and 25%. 15% on this income and 25% of this income. Clear, students? Chalo. Sixth case. 6 crore, 2 crore, 8 crore. Now you already know C case applicable. On this 6 crore, the surcharge rate would be 37% and 15% on this tax. Now, can you tell me the 7 case? The correct answer for 7 case? The 7 case would fall in case number 1. Because no special rate of income has been given. So it would be the part of category 1. And because it exceeding 2 crore up to 5 crore, the surcharge rate would be 25%. So you can see the answers has been written down. The solutions, you can see that from over here also in detail. That was surcharge chart for optional tax regime. Now this is for default tax regime. Same copy paste provision. Nothing new, only one difference. There is no 37% concept is applicable. Whether it's exceeding 2 crore, exceeding 5, it will remain 25%. Same. In the last case, exceeding 2 crore, the rate would be 25%. Whether it's more than 2 crore or 5 crore does not matter. The difference already mentioned over here, you can see that. Now, clear, students? So that was surcharge concept. We have just gone through with it. So when you will practice once or twice, you will find it out that it was not a complicated thing. You just need to find out the just the correct case. And the case are mutually exclusive. You can see that. If the income up to 2 crore, including the special rate of income, case A. Exceeding 2 crore, after including special rate of income, case B. Exceeding 2 crore without including special rate of income, category C. And once you find out the correct situation, automatically you will find out the correct rate for the purpose of applicability. Okay, Sridhar is saying illustration for 2 crore is total income, then we calculate 2 crore in next category or 2 crore 1 lakh in next category. What was that illustration for Mr. Sridhar? Illustration for, you are asking in my provision, illustration 4 in slide. Okay, I was thinking in study material. So illustration 4, what is the query, Mr. Sridhar? It's 3.30 crore. The tax rates are different. On dividend income, the tax rates are different. On 1.3 crore, slab rate tax calculation need to be done. For these tax rate, you have to wait till the chapter of capital gain. On separate rate of capital gain would be there. So on the total of this slab rate tax and this tax, surcharge of 15% need to be applicable. So do not think about the total calculation of tax, because we need to cover a lot of things of special rate of tax, etc. Just understand, if these kind of question has been given in the exam, would you able to find out the correct rate of surcharge? If the answer is yes, we have completed it. Okay. Mythili, the MCQ part, any question will be asked in chapter 1 and 2. Of course, there could be a lot of question from MCQ, and question can be asked from any part in any category of questions also. Okay, you just need to understand everything, and there could be descriptive or MCQ, we do not know. Okay, but of course, question can be MCQ based also in chapter 1, 2, etc. I will show you my MCQ sheet. Okay, now moving ahead. Now we need to discuss the agricultural income provision. We'll see on a query portal. There is no query yet. So now we are discussing the concept of agricultural income. As soon as we will complete our agricultural income, in the remaining time, we will solve illustration, test your knowledge question, MCQ, etc. So in our country, there is no tax on agricultural income. But what is the meaning of agricultural income? Only that agricultural produced by a farmer, that is only agricultural income, or there is much more to include in it? The answer is yes. That is not only the agricultural income we are talking about. The agricultural income consists more than that. So what is the meaning of agricultural income? How exemption you can apply? And some integration provision, some composite business cases we need to discuss in this topic. Agricultural income under section 2(1)(a). So if your income satisfy the definition of agricultural income under section 2(1)(a), only in that situation you would be able to claim the exemption. So what is the meaning of agricultural income? The point 1 says agricultural income means any rent or revenue. So revenue we all understand, any rent or revenue derived from a land which situated in India and used for agricultural purpose. So you can see multiple points have been in a single sentence. Let me show you with the help of an example. So point number 1 is discussing or explaining the two kinds of agricultural income. Suppose Mr. A is having an agricultural land. Clear? So either the Mr. A can run agricultural operation himself. He can produce agricultural produce on this land, and from the agricultural produce, he can sell that into the market and he can earn revenue. So technically, he will be a farmer in this situation. So if he is using his agricultural land for agricultural operation, and via that agricultural produce, he is earning income, that would be called revenue. And that is going to be agricultural income and exempt from tax. But there is one more case which can be treated as agricultural income from this agricultural land. Now, suppose Mr. A does not want to carry on the agricultural operation on this land. He is doing his business, etc. He let out this land to a farmer, suppose Mr. F. Now he is carrying agricultural. Now he is carrying agricultural operations, producing agricultural produce, sell it to the market, and earn revenue. So this revenue is agricultural income in the hands of Mr. F, and it will be exempt. But the interesting part, whatever amount of rent Mr. F will pay rent to Mr. A. So this rent will also treated as agricultural income in the hands of Mr. A, and it will also exempt from tax. So the provision says, if you yourself involved in agricultural operation, the revenue would be your agricultural income. If you let it out to some farmer who is using that for agricultural operation, then that farmer income is agricultural income, as well as whatever rent you are getting will also become the agricultural income in your hand. Whether this rent has been paid by the farmer in monetary terms or via his agricultural produce. Suppose the rent has been paid in kind. So income include the monetary, non-monetary, everything. So that would be treated as agricultural income in the hands of Mr. A. Suppose Mr. A let out that property for other than agricultural purpose. In that case, rent would be taxable. Suppose if the farmer is not using it for agricultural purpose, you gave him for agricultural purpose, he is using for other than agricultural purpose, and paying the rent to you, still that rent will not form your agricultural income. So the land should be used for agricultural purpose either by you or by someone else, and then land should be situated in India. If you used it for agricultural purpose, that would be revenue exempt in your hand. If somebody else is using that, his revenue exempt, and your rent will also be treated as agricultural income. Clear? Sure. This is basic theoretical part with example also. You can go through it. The term agricultural has been explained over here. You can go through it. Process ordinarily employed to render the produce fit to be taken to the market. So the process of making any product marketable, so those activities will also form part of agricultural income. So only production of agricultural produce is not the only activity which would be considered as agricultural operation. After harvesting, the sorting, etc., the other cutting process, they all become part to make that product saleable, packing, etc. So those activity will also form part of agricultural income. You can go through it. Sale of agricultural product, whether you received in kind or cash, that would be your agricultural income if the other condition has been satisfied. So first was rent and revenue. So this, all these 1, 2, 3 point belongs to this first point. Any rent or revenue, these are sub points for the point number 1. Now, second is income from farm building. Suppose you are having a farmhouse, a building, a farmhouse, and you let out this farmhouse to a farmer. In first point, the rent of land was exempted. Now, this is not land. We are talking about a building, a farmhouse. So, a farmhouse which has been let out to a farmer and he's paying rent to us. So, this rent also become agricultural income if these four conditions fulfill. These are four conditions. So, income from farm building means rent. So, rent from farm building would be exempted in the hands of the landlord if these four conditions has been satisfied. Condition number one, the building should be on the immediate vicinity of the agricultural land. That means there should be agricultural land on which farming is being organized, and the farmhouse should be within the vicinity of that agricultural land. Vicinity means boundary. So the farmhouse which has been let out should be the part of that agricultural land on which farming is being carried on. It should not be like this, that agricultural land is over here and farmhouse is outside that boundary. In that case, rent would be taxable. Clear? Buildings should be used by the cultivator. Cultivator, farmer, same thing. So who is using that building? Farmer. The land is situated outside the urban area. So this land should be outside urban area. This land should be outside urban area. So it would be in rural area. Only in that case, the rent of farmhouse would be exempted. What is urban area? What is rural area? That we will discuss. Cultivator, that means farmer should require the building as dwelling house or storehouse. So the farmer is using that farmhouse for dwelling house, that is for his residential purpose, or using as a storehouse for agricultural produce. So if these four conditions fulfill, in that situation, the rent of that farmhouse is going to be exempted. What is the meaning of urban area, rural area? It has been explained over here. You can go through it, and questions are also here to make you understand in the above cases whether it's an urban area or rural area. Let me explain you with the help of a diagram, so that would be really easy for all of you. So what is urban land? So every area as a municipality board, etc. So if that municipality is having population of, if there's a municipality area, in that municipality area, suppose the population is more than 10,000, then this whole area would become the urban area. So my farmhouse should not be there. Now provision says, suppose if the population is more than 10,000, but up to 1 lakh of this area. The population is more than 10,000, but up to 1 lakh rupee, 1 lakh. Then the area which is outside that municipal area, the 2-kilometer area from that municipal area will also be called urban area. If the municipality population is more than 10,000 but up to 1 lakh, then the next 2-kilometer area will also become the urban area. Now suppose the municipality population is more than 1 lakh but up to 10 lakh. In that situation, the area from this next 6 kilometer, from this point, the 6-kilometer area will also be treated as urban area. So if the population is more than 10,000 up to 1 lakh, up to 2 kilometer area will be urban area. If population is more than 1 lakh up to 10 lakh, then the 6 kilometer area would also be treated as urban area. And suppose if population is more than 10 lakh, then area from 8 kilometer from this would be called urban area. So we need our farmhouse in an agricultural land which is outside this urban area. So my agricultural land should be outside this area. If my agricultural land on which farmhouse is there, which is within this area, the rent is going to be taxed. Understood? So now you can go through with the definition. With the help of this diagram, you will understand what exactly they want to explain to you. If population more than 10,000 to 1 lakh, up to 2 kilometer, then 6 kilometer, and then 8 kilometer. Once you will solve these questions, the answer is already over here. You will understand which area would be urban or rural. So the first agriculture income definition was rent or revenue. The second was rent of farmhouse. Now the third is agricultural income includes income from nursery operation. So if you are running a nursery, in that case, that income would become your agricultural income. Very simple. You can go through it. The fourth is composite business. If you are running a business in which activities, agricultural as well as non-agricultural activities also includes. So the part which belongs to agricultural activity will be the agricultural income. Suppose you are a business of manufacturing of sugar with production of sugarcane. So you produce sugarcane first, and then after those sugarcane, you process those sugarcane in a factory and manufacture sugar and sell into the market. So now you are selling sugar into the market, but this activity includes two kinds of activity. One is production of sugarcane, that is agricultural operation, and the other is process those sugarcane into the sugar and sell into the market. So that would be non-agricultural activity. But whatever profit you will earn after selling sugar, you are not selling sugarcane, you are selling sugar. So whatever profit you are actually earning from the sale of sugar, that profit is composite of two activities, agricultural as well as non-agricultural. Till production of sugarcane, it was agricultural. After that, it would be non-agricultural. So we have to find out the agricultural component from it. So that is going to be exempted. And non-agricultural from it, that is going to be taxed. So there are multiple kind of business like sugarcane, tea business, coffee, rubber, etc., in which the profit consisting of both kind of activities. So we have to tax agricultural activities, we have to exempt agricultural activity income out of that profit, and we have to tax the non-agricultural activity income from that. So how we will find it out? That is the part of composite business case. Now there are some indirect connections, some examples are over here to make you understand what are agricultural income, what are non-agricultural income. So these examples will really help you to make you understand in theoretical way the concept of agricultural income. So this is going to be our numerical part, integration of agricultural income, and then we will understand in detail the composite business case as we have discussed, how to identify how much part should be agricultural and non-agricultural. But before that, we will go through the integration concept of agricultural income with non-agricultural income. Only these two topics has been left over here. So let me see if there's any query. There is no query. So we will continue that topic after a short break sprint. So please go have your tea, coffee, etc. So Ashok sir, can we go for a short break? So we will be discussing the other two topic of agricultural income that is more to the numerical concept and very interesting also. So, okay, before that, let me tell you, your next class was on Thursday, day after tomorrow, 23rd of April. So that is going to be rescheduled because I won't be here. So maybe that would be on Sunday or Monday. You will get a notification regarding it. So Thursday class would be rescheduled. Okay. So you will have more time to revise these provisions. Now, as we are discussing about the agricultural income, we have just gone through with the agricultural income theoretical part, and there are technically 4 types of agricultural income. The first one was rent and revenue from an agricultural land situated in India and used for agricultural operation. The second is rent from farm building. The third was nursery operation, and the fourth was composite business. The composite business provision we will discuss in detail also when after this topic of integration. So because that is also a numerical part. Now what is integration is doing over here? So this is no connection with your mathematics, integration, etc. So do not worry about it. This integration means consolidation, combination, or you can say include, addition. But why this provision is here? So please understand in this way, there are technically 2 kinds of farmers exist in our country. One is those are only having income from agricultural operation. They do not have any other business activities or any other kind of income. So if you are a pure agricultural, we can call them pure agricultural, pure farmers. So that means if you are a farmer, you do not have any other nature of income except the agricultural income. So for those farmers, the agricultural income is 100% exempt. Whether you are having 10 crores, 20 crores, 50 crore, 500 crore rupees agricultural income, if you are a pure farmer, there is no tax liabilities there. 100% exempt. But if you are a farmer who is having agricultural as well as non-agricultural income also from some house property rent, commercial rent, you are running some other business also, you are having interest income also from bank, dividend, etc. So there is a possibility that there are multiple farmers, those are earning agricultural as well as non-agricultural income. So why do we need to give them 100% exemption? So there would be some kind of different provision. There is some kind of different provision to charge tax on their income. And that is integration of agricultural income with non-agricultural income comes into the force. So technically, this is for those farmers, those are having income other than agricultural income also. So when integration provision would be applicable, so there are certain conditions. If these conditions, all of these conditions has been satisfied, only in that situation, integration provision would be applicable. So before applying these integration provision in the question, you need to check these conditions should be satisfied. And let me tell you once again, if these condition has been satisfied, then you have to apply integration provision for the purpose of calculation of tax. So these provisions are in 2 parts. First, condition need to be checked, and if condition has been satisfied, then how integration process will work. The first condition applicable only for individual HUF, AOP, BOI and AJP. So this concept is applicable only for individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP, the slab rate assessee technically. These are the slab rate person. That's why it is applicable. In case of a company, partnership firm, you can see the rate is straightforward from 30%, etc. So not applicable in those cases, only applicable for individual HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. The second condition, your agricultural income must exceed 5,000 rupees. Your agricultural income at least should be more than 5,000 rupees, agricultural. And your non-agriculture income should exceed the basic exemption limit as the case may be. If you're in a default tax regime, that should exceed 4 lakh rupees. If you're under optional tax regime, that should exceed 250, 3 lakh or 5 lakh, depending upon the age and status of the person. So if these three conditions has been fulfilled, you are an individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP, your agricultural income exceeding 5,000, your non-agricultural income exceeding the basic exemption limit. If these three conditions has been fulfilled, then you have to calculate your tax as per integration provision. How integration will be applied? There are 3 steps you have to follow, and let me help you to solve this question or this concept with the help of an example, so you will be able to understand the provision easily. So when integration condition, we have gone through already. This is applicable for individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, AJP. Agricultural income must exceed 5,000. Non-agricultural must exceed basic exemption limit. Now take an example. Suppose there is Mr. A who is having just a second. Okay. Excuse me. Just a second. 21. So I just need to save the time. So we'll solve a question. This is the question. Okay. So suppose Mr. A, who is having income, non-agricultural income is 6,50,000 and agricultural income is 50,000. And suppose if in this example, we will check out these conditions, the first condition fulfill, the second condition fulfill, and the third condition fulfill. So this is optional tax regime. If we need to calculate the tax under optional tax regime in this situation, how we will solve this question? Suppose there is no integration concept in there. Suppose there is no integration concept. If there is no integration concept is there, then how I am going to solve this question? In this case, my agricultural income is going to be exempt from tax. And we just need to calculate the tax on non-agricultural income, which is 6,50,000. So if I calculate tax under optional tax regime on 6,50,000, then my tax liability would be 42,500 rupees. This would be exempt and tax liability would be 42,000 rupees 500. Rebate would not be applicable because income exceeding 5 lakh rupees. Rebate would always need to be checked on the non-agricultural income. So it is exceeding 5 lakh. So there would not be any rebate available. No surcharge applicable because income is not more than 50 lakh. Yes, 4% cess need to be applied. That would be 1700. So final tax liability would be 44,200 rupees. So suppose if there is no integration concept in our country, in that case, we need to exempt the agricultural income in this example, which has been given 50,000 rupees. 50,000, it was 5 lakh, it was 50,000, correct. So the final tax liability would have been 44,200 rupees. Now, due to the help of integration, now what integration says, because the condition has been satisfied. So now integration concept says, If your income agricultural exceeding 5,000, non-agricultural exceeding the basic exemption limit, then you need to calculate tax as per integration provision. With this process, step number 1. Calculate tax considering your agricultural income also as taxable income. So they says calculate your normal tax on income including agricultural income. So technically my non-agricultural is 650 and agricultural must exempt, but they say no, calculate tax on agricultural also. Now suppose your agricultural is also a taxable income. So technically what step number 1 says, it says calculate tax on 7 lakh rupees income. So if I'll calculate tax on 7 lakh rupees income, that would be 52,500 rupees. No rebate is applicable, no surcharge. Cess would be applied at the end. Cess need not to apply in the starting. Cess need to be applicable at the end always. So step number 1 says calculate tax on your agricultural as well as non-agricultural income. So technically what we did, we tax the exempted income. Agriculture income should be exempted, but we technically tax our agricultural income also. Now step number 2. Now it says that calculate your tax on your agricultural income plus your basic exemption limit. Now treat your basic exemption limit and your agricultural income is your income and calculate tax on it. So in the example, my agriculture income is 50,000 and basic exemption limit is 2,50,000 because we are under optional tax regime. So if we include these two income, now suppose this is your taxable income. Fixed step. Step number 1, calculate tax on your both income, agricultural as well as non-agricultural. Step number 2, take your agricultural income and basic exemption limit and treat this income as your total income. Now calculate tax on your this total income. On 3 lakh, you need to calculate your tax. On 3 lakh, if you calculate your tax, that would be 22,500. Again, we are not doing anything new. We are just following the step and we are calculating tax normally. Step 1, calculate tax on your all income. Step 2, calculate tax on your agricultural plus basic exemption limit. Consider that income is your non-taxable income and find out your tax liability as per normal provision. Now step number 3. Now step number 3 says difference. Step 1, step 2. So that would be 30,000 rupees. If you'll see, the difference would be 30,000 rupees. Clear? So now this is going to be 30,000 is going to be my tax. On this, now you can see rebate is applicable or not. So if you'll see, rebate is not applicable in this case because your non-agricultural income is exceeding 5 lakhs. So there would not be any rebate in this case. And in this situation, because rebate is not applicable, in that situation, no surcharge because it is not exceeding 50 lakh rupees. Cess need to be applicable on this situation. So we need to apply the cess in this case. And after that, our tax liability would be, there is something 3 lakh rupees, 22,500. And there would be, just a second, 7 lakh tax is this up to 3 lakh rupees. There is, sorry. The tax would 2,500 rupees. Yes. So my tax liability would be 50,000 students. In this situation, if you'll see, now tax is 50,000 and cess would be 4%, and that is 2,000 rupees. So total tax would be 52,000 rupees. Now it's a very interesting thing. If you'll see in this case, if this concept was not there, the tax would have been 44,200 rupees. And now due to the help of integration, the tax has been increased. It is now 52,000 rupees. In this situation, agricultural income was exempt. Under integration, if I'll ask you, the agricultural income is still exempt or it is taxed? Can you tell me, is it taxed or it is still exempted technically? The answer is agricultural income is still exempted. How? They just changed the process. First step, they tax the agricultural income, considering it as a non-exempted income, considering it as a taxable income. But then they calculate tax on agricultural income also, and they reduce the tax of agricultural income from the tax of total income. So we calculate the tax on agricultural income in this 52,500 rupees. And then we calculate the tax of agricultural income and we reduce the tax from the total tax of 52,500. So the remaining would be the tax on other than agricultural income. So just see the power of mathematics, what they did. In this situation, we completely exempted the agricultural income and calculate the tax on the remaining income. In this step number 1, we calculate the tax on agricultural income. So people opposed it. This is wrong. You said agricultural income exempt. Why are you charging tax on my agricultural income? So department says, okay, what we are doing, we are now calculating tax on your agricultural income and we will reduce that tax from your total income. So technically, we reduce the tax from tax of agricultural income out of this. So technically, the remaining would be the tax on your non-agricultural income only. So people satisfied? They say, okay, correct? We are sorry because we have taxed your agricultural income. Now we are reducing the tax of your agricultural income from that total tax. So remaining would be your tax for non-agricultural income. Now it's fine. People say, okay, now it's fine. But you can see the difference of tax, almost 6,000 rupees, 5,800 rupees extra tax has been charged with the help of integration concept. And you know why it has happened? When we tax this 50,000, in step number 1, the slab rate for the purpose of tax charged 20%. Out of that 7 lakh, 250 exempt, up to 5 lakh, 5%, and the balance part is taxed is 20%. So technically this 50,000 agriculture income has been taxed in step number 1 at the rate of 20%. But when we exempt the tax of this agricultural income, that has been taxed at the rate of 5%. So when we taxed it at the rate of 20%. But for the purpose of reduction of tax, this amount has been taxed at the rate of 5%. So due to the help of mathematics, we just increase the tax liability of the assessee. But technically, you cannot say that we tax the agricultural income. We reduce the tax of agricultural income from your total income. So the remaining would be the tax of your non-agricultural income. So this is the power of this concept that government actually collect the extra tax. In the examination, you need not to show this calculation. This is for your knowledge only. I would like to make you understand that if this provision was not here, then your tax collection is lower. So this is the provision which has been made by government for revenue benefit. That for those assessee, those are earning agricultural and non-agricultural, both kind of income, those kind of farmers, they need to tax in this way. So there some part of agriculture income also taxed due to the slab rate. That's why this integration concept is applicable only in slab rate cases. If that is a case of a partnership firm, then even you apply step number 1, 2, or 3, whether you calculate tax like this or like integration, the answer would remain the same, because in that case, your agriculture income is going to be taxed at 30% and also going to be exempt with 30%. So there is no rate fluctuation is there. But in case of slab rate, this would happen. That's why integration concept is applicable in case of individual, HUF, AOP, BOI, and AJ. So this is for your technical understanding. But for the purpose of exam, you just need to follow step number 1, 2, and 3. Goldie is saying, sir, what if the assessee is a company? If that is a company, you can apply integration, or either you can calculate tax without integration. The answer would remain the same. Akhila is saying, please explain once again, sir. Akhila, we are on YouTube. You can scroll back and you can see the provision, what we are going through, because we have time limit shortage. So we have to complete the provision. Goldie is saying, sir, if the conditions are not satisfied for integration, then entire income should be treated as non-agricultural income. Yes, if the conditions are not satisfied, then integration provision would not be applicable. Normal tax calculation you can follow. Visual is saying cheating, sir. It's not cheating, it's called intelligence. Maithili, sir, this integrated calculation is additional provision, sir, after slab rate changes. What does that mean after slab rate changes? We are just calculating normal tax as per slab rate. We are not discussing any new kind of tax provision. Under integration, you just need to follow separate step. First of all, calculate normal tax on agricultural as well as non-agricultural. Treat your agriculture income as non-agricultural. Then step number 2, your agriculture income, add your basic exemption limit. And now again calculate your normal tax. Then step 1 minus 2, that would be your tax liability. You can apply the cess upon it and that would be your answers. Look, as I always say, again I am saying, these are numerical process. As soon as you will practice some question from your study material and MCQ I am going to upload, you will find out that these provisions are also very simple. And of course, the notes will help you to make you understand. Step number 1, computation of total income, including agricultural income. Computation of tax on agricultural income plus maximum amount not chargeable to tax. We call it basic exemption limit. Then step number 3 is your answer. Step 1 minus step number 2. Apply rebate provision if applicable and add your 4% cess. Note you can go through. Now the last topic of our basic concept, that is composite business. As we have discussed, there are certain business having both kind of activities, agricultural as well as non-agricultural activities. Visuals. So, sir, now after today's lecture, can we try? Yes. At the end of the class, I will tell you, you can try all the illustration, all your test knowledge questions. And if there would be any problem in any question of this topic, illustration or test knowledge question, you can ask me in the next lecture. In the starting, we will discuss that also. Do not worry about it. So determination of agricultural income in case of composite business. So those business having agricultural activities as well as non-agricultural activity does fall in this category. We have 3 specific business for which we have a specific percentage has been mentioned. Rubber business. If you are carrying a rubber business, you are collecting rubber from natural rubber trees and then you are making any manufacturing from that rubber product and you are getting your profit. Then if you are involved in this composite business of rubber, the 35% of the profit would be non-agricultural, 65% would be your agricultural. If that is a coffee bean business, 25% of profit would be non-agricultural, 75% would be agricultural. If that's a roasted coffee or tea, then 40% non-agricultural, 60% would be agricultural. So 60% Those are agricultural are going to be exempted, and those are non-agricultural going to be taxable. But the problem is this, only 3 businesses is having this specific percentage. But there are more businesses. But for those, we do not have any percentage has been given. Like sugarcane business, etc., there is no percentage has been given. So for those businesses, for that percentage has not been given. That will fall in other composite business. And for the purpose of those business, we have to find out agricultural income and non-agricultural income separately. Market value of agricultural produce utilized will be deducted from the sale price of finished goods. This is the rule with the help of which you will find out your agricultural income and non-agricultural income. How that is going to be happen? Before that, let me show you if that is a business which has been already mentioned with the specific percentage, how you will solve it. Suppose in the question, there is a business of rubber growing and manufacturing, and then making rubber product in market. Then how do we need to solve that kind of question? Rubber business, coffee beans, because we have the specific percentage for these kind of business. So for those businesses, there would be information in the question like this. Cost of cultivation, suppose 50 lakh has been given in question. Processing cost, suppose 10 lakh rupees has been given in the question. Fair market value of agricultural produce. The agricultural produce you produced, the market value of that has been given in question, suppose 90 lakh rupees. Sale price of whether it's a rubber, coffee beans, suppose we are taking tea example. Fine. Tea. We produce tea leaves, and after that production of tea leaves, we manufacture tea and sell into the market. So suppose if the business related to rubber, coffee beans or tea, this kind of information would be in the question. Suppose the sale price is 130 lakh rupees. Now if there is any business which has been a specific percentage has been given, and you need to find out the agricultural income and non-agricultural income from this kind of business. So let me give you a very interesting tip. Consider yourself as a farmer as well as a businessman. Consider both activities as being carried out by yourself. And of course, and practically also, you are the one who is cultivating, who is processing, and who is selling the goods in the market. So we will make a single trading and profit and loss account for the purpose of calculation of our profit. Single trading and profit and loss account. Now I am the farmer, I am the businessman. I am doing both the activities, agricultural as well as non-agricultural. So my cost of cultivation would be the part of my expenses side, 50 lakh. Processing cost, the processing cost from tea leaves to make the tea, that is manufacturing expenditure, that would also become the expenses part. Fair market value of agricultural produce. Do I sell the agricultural produce in the market, or did I sell the tea? The final product is finished goods is tea. So this is not relevant for my profit and loss account. The final product is tea. So the selling price of tea would be in my profit and loss account. Now, my net profit would be, you can see 70 lakh rupees. So that is the composition of agricultural activities and non-agriculture. You can see this is my agricultural activities expenditure. This is my non-agricultural activities expenditure. But the sale price is including the agricultural produce and the tea also. And this is the composite profit from both the activities. Now we need to find out the agricultural income and the non-agricultural. Visual is asking, sir, in case of loss, can we carry the non-agricultural loss for future for set of purpose? Yes, taxable losses or the losses which belongs to your taxable activities, that can be carried forward for set off purpose. That is going to be discussed in set off chapter. Opportunity cost 90 lakh. Why don't we consider? Income tax does not consider opportunity income or opportunity loss. We consider the real income or the real loss. So because we have the specific percentage, in case of T, the 60% is agricultural activity and 40% is non-agricultural activity. That means out of this 4,20,000, sorry, 42 lakh would be tax. And this is a case of individual. Now you see in this example, if you see, you are fulfilling the conditions of integration. It's an individual case. Your agricultural income exceeding 5,000. Your non-agricultural income exceeding, if it's an optional tax regime, you are exceeding basic exemption limit. As soon as these three conditions fulfill, remember very carefully, generally what we do, we think that when integration has been asked specifically, then we calculate tax accordingly. No, integration would be automatically applicable if these three conditions fulfill. And then this question, you can see my three condition has been fulfilled. Individual, agricultural income more than 5,000, non-agricultural exceeding basic exemption limit. Generally, what student does in this kind of question, they think it is exempted and only calculate tax on it. But that would be a mistake because integration concept applicable. So again, we have to calculate tax as per step number 1. Step 1 will say calculate tax on full value on 70 lakh rupees. You will calculate tax on it plus surcharge. Income exceeding 50 lakh. So 10% surcharge would be there. Now step number 2. Step number 2 will consider the agricultural income 42 lakh plus basic exemption limit. So now 44.5 lakh. Now calculate tax on 44.5 lakh. That would be tax. No surcharge because now it's less than 50 lakh. Now step number 3. 1 minus 2. Rebate would not be applicable because income exceeding 5 lakh, non-taxable income. 4% cess you need to apply on that. That would be your answer. So again, I'm telling you, whenever there is agricultural income, non-agricultural income exceeding the specific 5,000, etc. limit, then integration need to be applicable automatically. So this would be in the case when that 3 composite business has been given. In that case, you need to find out the profit in jointly and you need to divide it with the help of the percentage. But what will happen in a case when there is no percentage has been given? For those cases, the rule is here and the example is also here. Cost of cultivation of sugarcane is 10 lakh rupees. So sugarcane does not in those 3 specific business, no percentage. Processing cost 15 lakh rupees. Sale of sugar 50 lakh. FMV of sugarcane 25 lakh rupees. So if the question relates to a case when specific percentage given, then we have to maintain a combined trading and profit and loss account as we did in the last example. But if the question relate to a case where no specific percentage has been given, then to find out the agricultural income and non-agricultural income, you have to prepare 2 trading and profit and loss accounts separately. One for agricultural purpose separately, one for non-agricultural purpose separately. You just need to make 2 profit and loss accounts separate. For agricultural income, we have to calculate separate. For non-agricultural, have to calculate separate. We are doing accounting, etc. in daily work. So that is very, very easy. Let me give you a tip. When you are calculating agricultural income, consider yourself as a farmer. Just consider you are doing proper farming. You are producing sugarcane and you are selling sugarcane. Practically, you are selling sugar, but for the purpose of this profit and loss account, just imagine yourself as a farmer. You are cultivating sugarcane, you are selling sugarcane, that's it. Automatically, you will be able to draft this trading and profit and loss account. Chalo. So we are making this agricultural income. Now read the information and take it in your agricultural provision if that is related to your farming activities. Cost of cultivation would be my farming activities. The answer is yes. That would form part of my agricultural activity. Processing cost is part of my farming activities? No. Skip it. Sale of sugar is part of my farming activities? No. Skip it. FMV of sugarcane? Yes. So I am considering myself as a farmer. So I will produce sugarcane. I will sell sugarcane. So if I would have been sell sugarcane, the selling price would have been 25 lakh. So now my net profit is automatically 15 lakh. That is my agricultural income. Now when we will make non-agricultural trading and profit and loss account. Now consider yourself a pure businessman. You are not a farmer anymore. Just think that if you need to sell sugar in the market, what do you need to do? You need to purchase sugarcane, because now you are a businessman, you're not a farmer. You need to purchase the sugarcane, process them, and then sell into the market. So now from this information, cost of cultivation is not my part. Yes, processing cost is my part. 15 lakh. Sale of sugar, of course, my part of business, 50 lakh. One thing we are missing, and that is sugarcane. We need to purchase sugarcane. So whatever is the FMV over here for the purpose of sale will automatically become the purchase price for business activities. That would be 25. So now you can see the net profit would have been 10 lakh rupees. It's a universal rule. Whatever will be your sale over here, that would automatically become the purchase in non-agricultural P&L. So this 10 lakh would be my non-agricultural income. Again, if they are asking you to calculate the tax, now you can see again, integration applicable. Your agricultural exceeding 5,000, non-agricultural exceeding basic exemption limit. So automatically you have to apply integration provision. So if the business is for these three businesses, you can make a single trading and profit and loss account, considering yourself as a businessman as well as a farmer, and the profit need to be divided in the specific percentage. If the question relates to other product other than these three, then you have to make two profit and loss account, one considering yourself as a farmer, other considering yourself as a businessman. And that is very simple. As an accounting student, of course, you can easily calculate this profit, and according to it, you have to calculate the tax if asked in the question. Now let me see. We have covered the topics. Okay, we have discussed that. Very good. Yes, income for non-agricultural business is considering as cost for the business. Exactly. That would be treated as purchase price. The FMV of the agricultural production, which we will consider as a sale in agriculture activity, that we will consider as a purchase in our non-agricultural activity. Absolutely correct. So now, student, you can solve all the questions. We have short of time actually. Otherwise, look, these MCQs also I'm going to upload with answers. Till 10 we have discussed, and now this is MCQs for marginally, for integration provision has been given. So I will upload this with the solution also and the pattern also. So you can go through with all the illustration, all the test your knowledge questions. So that will going to help you to make provision more crystal clear. Miss Mehak is saying, sir, for integration calculation, firstly, we prepare trading account for separate agricultural and non-agricultural, then we calculate tax. Yes, if asked in the question, then you need to calculate the tax. Just a second. Let me show you some questions. Illustration number 1 on page 1.40. You can see illustration number 1. Mr. B grows sugarcane and use the same for the purpose of manufacturing sugar in his factory. 30% of sugarcane produced is sold for 10 lakh and the cost of cultivation of the sugarcane is 5 lakh. Just a second. So Mr. B grows sugar canes and use the same for the purpose of manufacturing sugar in his factory. 30% of sugarcane produced is sold for 10 lakhs. So in this case, the 30% part has been sold as a sugarcane. So that is pure agricultural activities. Let me solve this question over here. So the question was saying that 30% of sugarcane sold for 10 lakh rupees. The cost of cultivation was 5 lakh. So now you can see this part of the question in which 30% is purely agricultural activities. Selling price is 10 and the cost of cultivation is 5. So this is my agricultural income, pure agricultural income, 5 lakh rupees. Now the question says the balance 70%. The balance 70% is having two parts, agricultural as well as non-agricultural. This agricultural part, market value of sugarcane is 22 lakh. Fair market value is 22 lakh. And the cost of cultivation of this part is 14 lakh. So the net profit is 8 lakh rupees. Now this part has been converted into sugar and the selling price is 25 lakh. Now this will become the purchase price 22 lakh and the processing cost has been given in the question is 1.5 lakh. So the net profit from this non-agricultural activity is 1.5 lakh in this question. So you can see sale of sugar 25 lakh, 22 lakh was the market value, manufacturing expenditure 1.5 lakh. So this is my non-agricultural activity. The 22 lakh less the cost of cultivation would be my agricultural income, and the 30% part which we have solved initially 10 lakh, 5 lakh, that is going to be my agricultural income also. So please go through these questions. Okay, in case of marginal relief, if you'll see the questions of marginal relief, which has been explained in illustration, like over here you can see illustration number 5, compute the tax liability of Mr. A having total income of 51 lakh for assessment year 26-27. So in the study, you will see there are two solution method has been given. A category and alternative method also. B category, alternative method. So what method I have told you is alternative method. That is easy. The step 1, step 2, step 3 we have gone through. A was step number 1. Calculate tax on the income which has been given in the question. First of all, you have to calculate tax on 51 lakh. Tax is 14,76,750. Then calculate tax on that income up to which no surcharge is applicable. So tax is 1312,500 and the excess is 164250. So you can follow the method I have told you, the horizontal type of method. If you'll apply that, that would be easy for you, and that is alternative method. So always see your solution, whatever I have told you, match that solution with the alternative method which has been given in the illustrations. You can solve all the illustration, all the question, test and knowledge question, etc. Let me see if there is any query. Yes, you can apply the integration provision in that question, but 1.5 lakh was only illustration number 1. 1.5 lakh was the non-agricultural income. So that is under basic exemption limit. So in that case, integration provision condition would not be satisfied, Mehak. That's why you are not able to apply the integration provision. Even if you apply the integration provision, the answer of tax would be 0. You can try that. But because the condition does not satisfy, so there would not be any solution if you apply integration provision, because non-agriculture income should exceed basic exemption limit. Mithali, no, you need to solve only from one method. Alternative method is enough. You can apply that, as I have told you, that would be enough. You need not to apply with both methods. Sridhar, sir, if question is silent, then which provision is applied? What, in which case you are asking, Sridhar? Which method? That means you are asking about the optional tax regime or default tax regime. That would be mentioned in the question which regime you need to apply, but if still it's silent, you can apply both or either default. You can write it down. Regime is not given. I have told you it would be in the question. If it's not there, you need to solve it with both regime at least. Okay. Anything else, students? So you can ask your query. There's a very small story for all of you. And it's a real story. तो एक बहुत छोटा बच्चा था, वो अपनी मदर के साथ रहता था एंड स्कूल जाता था. एंड स्कूल में जब जाता था तो काफी तक स्कूल जाने के बाद स्कूल से एक लेटर आया और टीचर्स ने उससे कहा था ये लेटर अपनी मदर को देना सिर्फ. तो उसने वो लेटर ओपन नहीं किया और स्कूल से घर आने के बाद उसने अपना वो लेटर अपनी मदर को दिया एंड उसकी मदर ने वो लेटर पढ़ा एंड शी स्टार्ट क्राइंग. उसने पूछा मम्मी क्या हुआ, तो उसने बोला कि स्कूल वालों ने कहा है कि आपका बच्चा बहुत इंटेलिजेंट है, बहुत होशियार है, बहुत सारी क्वेरी पूछता है और उसके आंसर हमें नहीं आते, तो आप इसे किसी दूसरे बहुत बड़े स्कूल में भेजिए या आप ही घर पे बैठ के इसकी प्रॉब्लम्स को सॉल्व कीजिए. तो बच्चा बड़ा खुश हुआ कि मतलब मैं इतना होशियार हूं, तो उसकी मदर ने उसको पढ़ाना शुरू करा घर पर, स्कूल भेजना बंद कर दिया. एंड टाइम लैप्स और वो बच्चा बड़ा होकर एक साइंटिस्ट बना. और जब उसकी मदर की डेथ हुई तो उन्होंने वो बॉक्स ओपन करा जिसमें वो लेटर रखा था. जब वो लेटर निकाल कर पढ़ा तो उस लेटर में ये लिखा था, स्कूल से एक्चुअली ये लिखकर भेजा गया था कि आपका बच्चा बहुत इडियट है, उसकी प्रॉब्लम्स ऐसी होती हैं जो बहुत इलॉजिकल है, हम उसको स्कूल से निकाल रहे हैं और आप उसे इस स्कूल में मत भेजिएगा, खुद ही घर पे पढ़ाइए, ही इज अ डफर. एंड ही स्टार्ट क्राइंग बिकॉज उसको लगा कि अगर मेरी मदर ने मुझे ये रियलिटी बताई होती उस टाइम तो मैं डिमोरलाइज हो जाता, मुझे लगता मैं कितना बेवकूफ हूं, बहुत मुझे डिप्रेशन होता, इंसल्टेड फील होता. सो दैट वाज द पावर ऑफ पॉजिटिव वर्ड्स. एंड यू नो हु वाज दैट? दैट वाज थॉमस एडिसन, who invented electric bulb. That's the real story of Thomas Edison. So you can see the power of positivity. अगर उसकी मदर ने उसको डांटा होता, उसको रियलिटी बताई होती, तो मे बी वो डिप्रेशन में जाता, मे बी उसे इंसल्टेड फील होता, मे बी वो आज साइंटिस्ट नहीं बन पाते. बट दोज पॉजिटिव वर्ड्स एनकरेज दैट चाइल्ड दैट मैं इतना होशियार हूं और स्कूल वाले चाहते हैं कि मेरी मदर मुझे पढ़ाए. सो वो इतने बड़े साइंटिस्ट बने. Why I am telling you this? Because आपके आसपास भी ना बहुत सारे लोग होंगे जो आपको हो सकता है नेगेटिविटी फैलाते हैं, हो सकता है कहते हो कि आपसे सीए नहीं होगा, बहुत डिफिकल्ट कोर्स है, मैं नहीं कर पाया, वो नहीं कर पाए, तुमसे भी नहीं होगा. जस्ट इग्नोर देम. बी सराउंडेड बाय द पीपल दोज आर पॉजिटिव, जो आपको पॉजिटिवली इंकरेज करें, जो आपके वेल विशर, जो ये कहते हैं सीए कर कर क्या करोगे, कुछ नहीं होता, कुछ मत करो, तुमसे नहीं होगा. Just leave them right now, because these kind of things, you can see the power of positivity. Just a single sentence that changed the life of Thomas Edison, and if that would have been in negative words, that could that could affect him very badly. तो अपनी लाइफ में भी, इट्स माई सजेशन, प्लीज उन लोगों के पास रहिए, उन लोगों से बातें कीजिए, दोज आर पॉजिटिव, बिकॉज देयर इज नथिंग इज इम्पॉसिबल. वेरी, इट्स जस्ट अ कोर्स, यू नीड टू हैव सम बुक्स एटसेट्रा, यू नीड टू गो थ्रू इट, रिवाइज करो प्रॉपरली, पढ़ाई करो प्रॉपरली, सब हो सकता है. टेक्निकली वी अंडरस्टैंड दैट वी आर यूजिंग आवर 3 or 4% of brain power. So on 3 or 4% we can do this much thing. So if you will utilize your brain properly in this 3 and 4 part, if that is going to be used properly, you can do wonders. So please be surrounded by the positive people. Believe in yourself. There's nothing you cannot do. You can do anything, but only in one situation, if you want to do it. So that was the story of Thomas Edison for all of you. So please revise the provisions, and I always says revise twice. That's my advice to make you wise. So there is nothing better than the revision and practicing. Do that and you will be a CA very soon. So our Thursday class is going to be rescheduled, and that is going to be maybe on Sunday or Monday. You will be get informed about it. Thursday class is not on Thursday now. So I see there is no query till now. Okay, so Ashok sir, there is no query. Can we close the session? Yes, over.